Let's get some reaction now. We're joined by Chairperson of the Tshwane Energy Task Team, Sello Mphaga. A very good evening to you. Thank you so much for your time. Quite an ambitious goal that has been set here, 1,000 megawatts by the year 2026. How are you going to achieve this?
Oh, thank you, Mpho, and good evening to you and your viewers. The very ambitious plan that has been announced as part of our preparations towards the very first Tshwane Energy Summit is based on a number of actions that have already been put into place. And currently, as we speak, the city has got 2 power stations that have been mothballed now for almost a decade. And out of those, we expect that we'll be able to have a 300 megawatt from the Rooiwal power station and a 180 megawatt from the Pretoria West power station. This is the current installed capacity. And in addition to that, we're looking at over 520 megawatt from renewables. And of course, a number of interventions there is envisaged to be received from, the private sector. We're talking the waste to energy options. We're talking battery storage systems, and much of it will definitely be, solar generated power. So that is how we expect to be able to pull through that 1,000 megawatts in the next 3 years.
Does Tshwane have the technical or even financial capacity to leverage the potential of these assets in order to enhance its energy security?
Yes, that is actually at the heart of this initiative of taking these power stations to start with out to the market. We have had a council resolution that gave approval for that lease of 40-year lease for both power stations, and that will be determined by the market as to who gets to receive such a lease based on what technologies are they able to offer us. And if you ask internal capacity, those 2 power stations have been run by the city officials in the past. However, we've come to realize that with the current internal procurement processes, it gets a bit tedious, to run an operation like a power station, and hence we have taken that decision of taking those 2 power stations to the market. In terms of the finances, there will be a funding, a tariff-based funding model that will include, amongst others, concessional loans as well as a vendor financing for the capex requirement. So in all the interventions, there will not be actually the city having to pay directly for this kind of interventions, but we are reaching out to the private sector. And I suppose at the summit, we will be able to unpack what other mechanisms are put in place to support such an initiative.
Having opted to rope in the private sector, I mean, I know that proposals are what you're really looking for. How far have you advanced? I mean, is there anything that's looking solid on the table?
Absolutely. I've just made mention in terms of the power stations, the council resolution that was passed in January effectively has set the ball rolling. And we are awaiting the acquisition of transactional advisory services for us to be able to craft a conducive request for proposals so that we can assess whoever that has bidded as to their capacity in terms of finances, as well as in terms of their specific technology that they have opted for.
And that's important because scrutinizing the criteria will be something that will be really, really important in this regard. What are you looking for as you scrutinize the criteria of these private investments?
With regard to the power stations, we will definitely be looking for, people or companies that are well established in the space. You cannot, do a trial and error with an operation like a power station of a power station magnitude. But with alternatives, if there are people that are bringing up solutions such as your, solar installations or waste to energy, for example, because the power station at Pretoria West is more suitable to have such alternatives also being looked at. So there will be those probably through the assistance of the transactional advisory services, we'll be able to conduct a due diligence to say whether these respondents are financially viable, but also technologically, have their technology been tested? Has it worked anywhere else? And also affordability. Are they able to provide us with the energy that we can be able to resell to our clients, under reasonable at a reasonable cost?
Yeah, I ask you this because corruption allegations are always a factor when one needs to look at the tender and the scale of it, and of course how much money will be on the table.
We are very cognizant of that, and that is why this particular work has been given a dedicated task by the city leadership to establish a multidisciplinary task team that is encompassing of all the role players within the city, from the legal, the energy department itself, the finance department, and as well as the sustainability team. We all work together to ensure that we somewhat look at all the possible loopholes that when we start issuing this RFP need to have been considered. And we also are going to be backed with other partnerships that we have established, starting with the government institutions or organs of state. We have reached out to the province, the National Department as well of Energy, as well as the Ministry of Energy, of Electricity, to be saying this is the journey that we would like to undertake, and we want to get a solid backing. And therefore, institutions such as the DBSA, the CSIR, and other international bodies like your GIZ, we are a member of C40 as the city of Tshwane. So there is that technical capacity that we will be sourcing outside the city, and we are reliant on that to be able to provide that necessary support.
We know residents of the city of Tshwane have really been up in arms over the past few months, more so earlier in the year, over service delivery issues, boycott over municipal services. How is this going to impact them as you go out and try and make means to end load shedding? Surely there's got to be a pinch in their pockets, and considering what the country is facing in terms of inflation and the standard of living, the quality of living, how are you going to have residents meet you halfway, if at all possible? Does it mean that you will be increasing bills?
I think at the heart of this intervention is to instill the sense of energy security. And with that, we all are aware that the economy has been battered. In the past few years, the load shedding has seen a lot of companies, including the manufacturing sector and even the retail sector, being battered to a point of even having to cut their operations. Some of them have closed, and as a result, that means less jobs. And with less jobs, it means people are unable to pay some of them. Mm-hmm. And when you have got surplus electricity, those kind of manufacturing opportunities will come back. We'll definitely have, just yesterday, we had an engagement with one of the automotive companies. We are the hub of automotive industry. A number of them want to expand. And as for their global compliance, they need green energy for that matter. And once we can secure that, there will be opportunities for them for growth, but also other manufacturing sectors and the broader confidence. Once you start having a surplus energy, we are able to start opening up the infrastructure development, and that in itself enables the city's economy to grow. The crisis that we are facing, not only in the city of Tshwane, in the Republic, is the poor economy, the economy that is not performing and that is not being able to attract investments. And we believe that this particular intervention of energy security, particularly looking at the green energy, will enable us to sort of attract that necessary investments back into the city, and thus benefiting the broader residents.
Very well. Let's perhaps leave it there for now. Wrapping that discussion up with Chairperson of the Tshwane Energy Task Team, Sello Mphaga, detailing some of the plans that are in place to ensure that they achieve 1,000 megawatts of energy independence from Eskom by the year 2026. Quite an ambitious plan that